Just imagine when the author of Amazing Grace was converted to Christ. We have a story similar to that in American history. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance. Welcome to the broadcast, friend. I'm Randall Terry. I apologize for looking a little scruffy. I am going to play a part in an upcoming movie where I have to have my hair grown. Hair, so I apologize ahead of time. John Newton. John Newton was a slave trader. He trafficked in human beings. One of the most evil, repugnant sins against God and men. One of the sins that cries to God for vengeance. He repented. He converted to Christ. He wrote one of the most famous hymns. Some people would say the most famous hymn in the English language. Amazing Grace. In American history, we have a conversion that's similar to that in its scope, in its impact. Did you know that? I'm speaking about the conversion to Jesus Christ of Norma McCorvey. She was the Jane Roe of Roe versus Wade. Norma was a tormented person because of Roe versus Wade, and we're going to talk about her this week. I want to tell you what's going on, and I want to ask you for your help and for your prayers. First of all, Norma left a significant record of her life in these two books. One is called I Am Roe. She wrote this book with a co-author. Somebody wrote it for her, Andy Meisler, before her conversion. It came out just a couple years before she converted to Christ. And then she released Won by Love, which is the story of her conversion. And this was a couple of years after her conversion, and that was written by Gary Thomas. These two books provide an enormous amount of material on Norma's life. Not all of it, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But she had a horrific life. In fact, I'm going to read to you. Let me explain what we're doing. All right. Number one, we're making a movie on Norma. We are releasing a movie, a full-length motion picture, a documentary on Norma. And I'm hosting it, I'm narrating it, but we have interviewed 10 people who knew her personally. We interviewed people that were with her at her deathbed. Okay, Norma was a dear friend of mine. She was a close friend. She stayed in my house once for a month in a tough time in her life. We traveled all over the country. We did pro-life stuff. You get to know someone, you spend that much time with them. Shooting pool, drinking beer with friends, swapping stories. We had a lot of miles together. And it's funny because before her conversion, we were arch enemies. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So we're going to do a documentary on her life to tell the story of her conversion because she's about to be besmirched. Let me read to you a letter from a woman who was a friend of Norma's and is a friend of mine who saw the Norma film. We've got a trailer out now. I'm going to play the trailer during this show. But I actually showed her the whole film. It's not done. It's about 70% done. She cried. She laughed at points. She said, I learned stuff about Norma I didn't know, and I was a friend of hers. Listen to what she wrote to me. This is from Missy Smith. Go ahead and put it up on the screen. We live in a violent, sexual, vulgar world. The story about Norma's life from infancy on is enough to shock the most hardened heart. Norma was abused and exploited as a tiny child. Her grandmother was a whore who worked in a whorehouse that Norma often visited as a child. Her mother herself was an unkind, angry, immoral woman who beat Norma as a very small, frightened child and abandoned her in front of a locked church every day. Norma was raped for 3 weeks, twice a day, as a very young teenager by a man her mother left her with, her mother putting her in danger from such violence. Good God, what more could this young child endure? Predictably, she was put in a juvenile delinquent home. She was a lesbian, a drug addict, a thief, a practitioner of witchcraft, and the mother of 2 illegitimate children. She was barely literate. She was the perfect tool for Satan, broken and defeated. I'm going to be right back, but let me say this. If you want to help us with this film, I'm going to tell you how when we get back, and you're going to be able, if you want, you're going to be able to get an autographed copy of one of Norma's books, autographed by her and me before she passed away. Don't go away. Have Muslim terrorists hijacked the peaceful religion of Islam? Or is there more to the story? The answer lies in the life of one man, Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Muslim terrorists see themselves inside a 1,400-year-old story, a narrative that focuses on specific events in the life of Muhammad. We are going to look at Muhammad's life using their most sacred literature. We will look at Muhammad at the Battle of Badr. We'll see him deal with those who mock him. We'll see the times when he used deception. We'll witness Muhammad's anti-Semitism. And yes, we will discuss Muhammad and his teachings concerning sex, slavery, and jihad. Friend, if you want to understand Islamic terrorism, get this series today. Hi friend, welcome back. I'm Randall Terry. We're doing a documentary on the life of Norma McCorvey, the Jane Roe of Roe versus Wade. Roe versus Wade is responsible for tens of millions of babies being slaughtered. Norma was the plaintiff in that case, yet she repented, she converted to Christ, and then she fought for over 20 years to overturn Roe versus Wade. She was a friend of mine. I'm doing a documentary on her life. I'm not taking a penny for this project, not one dime. I've written the script, I'm in the movie, I'm personally spending scores of hours. Our team is spending hundreds and hundreds of hours to put this together. I'm not taking any money, but we need to pay to get this movie done. And I'm asking you for help. Okay? I'm asking you for help. And as a thank you, if you want an autographed copy of her book, Norma and I, go ahead and put the plate up there. Norma and I signed these commemorative plates when she was still alive. That plate that you see on your screen with our signatures is in these books. As of today, I have about 190 of them left. When they're gone, that's it. It's a piece of history that you can have a part of. And you can go to gofundme.com/finding Miss Norma. Okay? If you give a $100 gift, you will receive a piece of history. I can't emphasize to you enough the value of something like this. If you love history. Think about it. The Norma McCorvey, the Jane Roe of Roe versus Wade, and the founder of Operation Rescue, me, signing the same book. It's yours. We've got them, and when they're gone, they're gone. And I thought I've been saving these for a while. Here's the perfect time to use them for something special, to make a movie on Norma's life. Go to gofundme.com/finding Miss Norma, or you can call. We've got an operator who will take your information over the phone. One man answers the phone for us. Call 304-289-3700. Sometimes you get me when you call. Some of you have already gotten me on the phone. You know that. All right. I want to continue with what my friend wrote about her. This is so powerful. She said, finally, she was a homeless person living on the street when exploited by 2 young, calculating lawyers looking to use a woman for their own self-promotion in Roe versus Wade. They took a broken-spirited person who all her life had been beaten and made to feel less than worthless. They fed her and flattered her. She would do anything for some attention, kindness, and love, and a promise to help, even if it was 100% manipulative and false. Norma was an unprotected person used to exploit the most unprotected persons, unborn babies. How very twisted Satan is. Yet how powerful God's love is. By God's divine mercy, she was saved. What an inspirational, true story. Truly won by love. She came into Christ's arms and fought for over 20 years to overturn Roe versus Wade. In the end, she received Holy Communion every day in the assisted living home before her death. She was given last rites by a Catholic priest in the last days of her life. In her last hours, she listened to the singing of the Divine Mercy Chaplet played on a smartphone that was laid over her heart as she struggled to sing along. We believe that the promise that Jesus made to St. Faustina was fulfilled, that a sinner would be saved if at the moment of death the chaplet was prayed. Norma was tortured by Roe. Tortured, yet she never stopped fighting for the babies. On her deathbed, she was asking, "Where are the babies?" Then by God's divine mercy, at the moment of death, she saw them. She called out to the babies that were waiting to take her, like the good thief being taken to paradise to be with Jesus. Randall, you knew her heart. You knew in some small way what it does to a child's spirit to be beaten and abandoned like a child in the womb. You captured the essence of Norma in this film. This story is one of a kind. You have helped find the real Norma McCorvey for the rest of us and for history. Missy Smith. I'll be right back, friend. We're going to play you some clips from this movie, Finding Miss Norma, the real Norma McCorvey. We have a special offer for those of you that can give a $50 gift to Voice of Resistance, the Randall Terry Pack. I will give you all 5 of my books that are still in print and my music CD that we cut in Nashville. And here's what else. I'll autograph all of them for you. And if you want me to say to Tom or to Sue so that you can give it as a gift to someone else or keep it in your library as a part of your collection, I'll personalize each one. Just say on the computer who you want it to go to, or tell the person who answers the phone, please have Randall personalize his autograph to these people. I'm going to give a phone number for those of you who don't want to use your computer. Call 304-289-3700. You can get Dragon Slayers, Accessory to Murder, Why Does a Nice Guy Like Me Keep Getting Thrown in Jail, and other books. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700. Welcome back to the broadcast, friend. My name is Randall Terry. I am the host of Voice of Resistance, and I'm also the founder of Operation Rescue. Some of you remember me from the late 80s and the early 90s when I was leading a huge, peaceful civil disobedience movement. At that time, Norma McCorvey had just come out as the Jane Roe of Roe versus Wade. And in her book, I Am Roe, I'm the only pro-life person named. And my organization, Operation Rescue, was the only pro-life organization named. From across a continent. I was in New York, she was in California, sometimes in Texas. From across a continent, she had her eye on me. And then when we finally met, we were in the street in California at an event, and she's blowing a whistle in my ear at the top of her lungs, screaming at me. I'm yelling at her, "You have blood on your hands." I don't even, 25 million babies, whatever the number was in those days. Tens of millions of babies are dead because of you, and you are going to face the judgment of God unless you repent. It was very intense. And that's how we met, all right? And I told her, come to Christ for forgiveness before it's too late, before you face the judgment of God. And she did repent. She came to Christ. Flip Benham, who was the leader of Operation Rescue National, some years later, led her to Jesus and baptized her. So it's an amazing story. Let me play for you a clip of the trailer. And then I'm going to tell you how you can get a copy of a book that has Norma's autograph in it and my autograph, okay? Just a limited number of these. When they're gone, they're gone. but we're using them to help raise the money that we need to pay for this documentary, all right? So play the clip, please.
I'm Norma McCorvey, the former Jane Roe of the Roe versus Wade decision. I was persuaded by feminist attorneys to lie, to say that I'd been raped and I needed an abortion. It was all a lie. Since then, over 50 million babies have been murdered. I will take this burden to my grave.
Norma Leah McCorvey. Norma was the Jane Roe of Roe versus Wade. In all of American history, it's arguable that the most controversial, divisive, and pernicious Supreme Court decision to have been handed down was Roe versus Wade.
It's been hard enough for me to come out as Jane Roe.
1994, she had a book signing, and I came there. Norma McCorvey, as a result of what you have done, over 27 million little baby boys and girls have been slaughtered.
And he tells me this, and it crushes me.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to come in the next segment. We'll play the rest of that clip. Let me read to you from this plate, okay? Because this is kind of cool. Put it up on the screen if you would. It says, "You are holding in your hands a piece of history. This book is evidence of the miraculous grace of God." Only a few years earlier, Norma McCorvey and I had been on opposite sides of picket lines, trading comments with each other. Norma blowing a whistle in my ear, me warning her of the guilt of shedding innocent blood. Now we laugh together, pray together, and discuss plans and tactics on how to overturn the Supreme Court decision that bore her pseudonym. Scroll down, if you would, to the last paragraph. It says, "Operation Rescue has endured bitter criticism over the years, but the undeniable facts are these. Our peaceful but aggressive actions saved tens of thousands of children from abortion. Moreover, 3 key leaders in the pro-abortion movement, Dr. Bernard Nathanson, co-founder of NARAL, Sandra Cano, the Doe of Doe versus Bolton, and Norma McCorvey, all trace their conversion to Christ to the influence of Operation Rescue. Wisdom truly is vindicated by her children. Norma and I commend this book to you with joy." And there's her signature, and there's my signature. And this is number 121 of 2000. Now, as it turns out, we didn't do 2,000 copies. We did less than 700. And that's how many we signed. We intended to do 2,000 and we didn't. And when these are gone, they're gone. She has passed away. You can get a numbered copy. You see it right there. It's her signature and my signature. As of this filming today, I have about 190 of them left. And when they're gone, that's it. So if you'll give a $100 gift to help towards this documentary, we'll send you one. If you give 250 or 500, your name will be on the movie as a sponsor of the movie. You'll be listed in the credits. If you want to give $1,000 or $2,500 or even $5,000, you'll get multiple copies of the book, and your name and the name of a loved one will appear in the movie. Friend, this movie will probably be the only major documentary done about her that actually captures her, and you can have a part in getting it out. Go to that website you see on the screen or call the phone number and be a part of helping us establish the true testimony of Norma McCorvey before her memory is corrupted. And I'm going to tell you about something that's evil in the offing when I come back, all right? Let's stand with our sister. Please, please help me. What would Muhammad do Islamic Terrorism Explained is the best movie series documentary ever produced on the life of Muhammad and Islam. How do I know? Because it's what critics are saying. John Moore, radio host and author, said, "I learned more from What Would Muhammad Do about Islam and Islamic terrorism than I've learned from everything I ever read and watched in my entire life." Best-selling author Dr. Bill Warner said, "What Would Muhammad Do is the best movie series, TV production on the life of Muhammad and Islamic terrorism that has ever been produced." Friends, this is what the experts are saying. No one has ever done what we've done. I encourage you to get 1, 2, 4 copies. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700, or order it at the address or the website that you see on the screen. For those of you who are political activists, I have 2 books that are must-reads for you, and you need them in your library. 1, The Book That Made America, How the Bible Formed Our Nation, and 2, Confrontational Politics. I love both of these books. The book by Jerry Newcomb comes highly recommended by Ann Coulter. It gives you the ammunition so that you can say and see for yourself that the Bible was indeed the foundation of this republic. We weren't built to be a secular nation. We were built to be a God-fearing nation on the principles of Christianity as laid out in the scriptures. And confrontational politics, this puts to rest forever the lie that we should be nicer than Jesus when it comes to political activism. If we're going to win, we have to be confrontational. Only $25 for both books. Call 304-289-3700. That's 304-289-3700. Welcome back to the program, friend. I want to play you a clip that aired on television stations, national TV, all over the country in 1995. This is the second time that Norma and I met. I met Norma McCorvey for the second time in 1995.
I really wanted Norma to go face to face with Randall Terry on that stage.
I believe I speak for all of us when we say,
We forgive you in Jesus' name.
I will remember this for the rest of my life, as I think anyone who was present there will remember it.
Over the years, we became close friends, participating in multiple pro-life events together over nearly 2 decades. She even stayed with my family in our home for an entire month during a rough stretch in her life. Now, you have to understand, that was totally spontaneous. Rob Schenck was choreographing. He knew what he was going to do. Norma and I didn't know it. And that's what I did, that's what she did, and we became friends. Friend, listen to me. I need your help. If you value a testimony like Norma's conversion, I need your help. Listen to me. I know that there is a book being written right now by an author who's a writer for the New York Times and Vanity Fair, so you can figure what his moral compass is. He's done stories on Norma in the past. One of his stories that came out in 2013, he framed Norma as a phony, as someone who did what she did for the money, that she wasn't pro-life or pro-choice so much, she was pro-Norma. I'm not going to let a book like that, or a documentary that I know is also being produced in Australia, I'm not going to let my friend, a sister in Christ, be besmirched. Her testimony for Jesus Christ and for unborn babies means too much. And I'm asking you to help me. Please go to the website that you see on the screen or call the phone number. If you'll give $100, we will send you an autographed copy of Norma's book, Won by Love. If you give more than that, $250, $500, $1,000, you can get your name in the film, all right, in the credits. Please. We're doing this for the sake of Norma's testimony, for the sake of the gospel of Jesus Christ, for the pro-life movement. And if you see the value of it, then I'm asking you to help us. Go to the website on your screen. And I beg you for your prayers, because we are under spiritual attack for trying to do this film. But we're going to do it by God's grace and with your help. We'll talk to you tomorrow.